All right, you guys, as you can see, tonight we are going to be making meatloaf. It's a really, really simple recipe. I have some ground beef right here. Actually, I'm making a barbecue mozzarella stuffed meatloaf. So that's why you see the mozzarella cheese. But if you don't want to add cheese, you can skip this ingredient. But these are the primary ingredients to my meatloaf. We have the Holy Trinity right here, obviously. Peppers, onions, garlic. I have 2 eggs because that would hold the meatloaf together. Have some breadcrumbs. We have salt, garlic, onion powder, seasoning salt, yellow mustard, and ketchup. And we're going to incorporate all these ingredients into the ground beef. So we'll get started with that. Just switch this over here. First step, we're just gonna open our ground beef up. This is 85/15, so it's pretty good. Just gonna get all that into the bowl. All right. What we'll do next is I like to incorporate my vegetables first. So a lot of people actually cook their vegetables and then incorporate them into their meatloaf, but truthfully it's all the same. So we'll just incorporate all of those. Get everybody in the bowl, ready to go. And the reason why I also like to cook my vegetables while the meat is cooking instead of beforehand, it gives all the juices into the meat and gives it flavor. So it tastes a lot better if you ask me. So we got our vegetables in here. Just gonna lightly mix those because when you do meatloaf, you don't want to overmix. So you have to be sure not to overmix. But just a slight mix is not terrible. All right. Next, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of salt. And the reason why I do regular salt and seasoning salt is because this is beef. Beef tends to require a lot of seasoning. So I did a tablespoon of salt, so I'm going to do a teaspoon of seasoning salt. You don't want to over salt, and you know how that works. All right. I'm also going to go with garlic powder, and that's a tablespoon as well. You can just generously season it as much as possible, as much as you like. I'm going to go a tablespoon of onion powder. Oh, you know what? We're also going to add black pepper to that. I'm not really sure why I almost left that out, but of course we're going to add black pepper to that. And we're going to go a teaspoon of black pepper, actually. All right. Excuse me, I'm in here slamming cabinets. We're gonna go mustard. And if you had a squirt bottle, you know what I'm gonna say. Maybe like 4 generous squirts. Just squirt it all over. If you want to be technical, I'm gonna say about 3 tablespoons. And you're gonna do the same thing with mustard. I'm gonna say this is about 4 squirts, but as I said, ketchup, excuse me, 4 squirts, yeah. And we're going to do Italian breadcrumbs. You can use any type of bread you want. You can make 2 pieces of toast and crush it up if you feel like it. I like Italian breadcrumbs because as you can see on the inside, they have the Italian herb seasonings and it has its own little flavor to it. So add about a half a cup of breadcrumbs. And that just helps it to stick as well. Like, you don't want your meatloaf falling apart. What's the point of having a meatloaf? It's really, crushed up ground beef. And at the end, we're going to add our egg. This is where it can get really messy. So we're going to crack those. And you guys, we're having mashed potatoes, and I have my potatoes boiling. Oh, kryptonite. See, this is when I said it gets messy because I just dropped the eggshell in there for some odd reason. And it's so terrible. Oh, yay. Got it out on the first try. All right. Now we're going to mix all this together, you guys. Just Mix everything up. And not be careful to overmix. So basically fluff it over instead. Basically that's what you should do. So just make sure not to overmix, and you just flip it over and let everything get together. And then we'll form our meatloaf after we get this mixed in. All right, you guys, now that we have this whole entire mixture mixed up, as you can see, it's not overmixed. We're going to assemble our meatloaf. I told you guys this is a very easy thing to do. So, first we're going to just take about half of our mixture. So if you want to just split that in half, it could be easier for you. We're going to get it in our pan. Don't be afraid to touch your meat. Like, you know, before I used to be like, ew, it feels nasty, but unfortunately sometimes you have to touch it. And here I'm trying not to overmix, so I'm just lightly forming it into place, as you can see. Lightly forming it into place. You don't have to get crazy, you know, pounding at it or doing anything. It'll just fall into place as you lightly shape your meatloaf in the shape that you want. Now forms pretty easy. All right. Looks like a pretty decent sized loaf. Just want to make sure my sides hold up, because being as though we're stuffing this meatloaf, you want to make sure that you press down ever so gently on the inside. So it makes kind of like a canoe, I would say. Almost, you know, something that will hold something. I don't know. I don't know why I said it. Well, yeah, a canoe, you hold people in it. So, same thing. All right. So, that's basically shaped how I want it to look. Well, somewhat. Who cares? We're going to take our mozzarella cheese. You can use shredded mozzarella as well, but I had these left over from the mozzarella sticks that I made. So, I'm like, what should I do with this? So, we're going to stuff this bad boy. So, we're going to take these. You only need about 3. And we're just going to sit them ever so gently in there. You know. Take them. And once again, I always tell you guys I should have this stuff prepared, but for some odd reason, I'm just not that type of person. This is the second little cousin. Oh, we can have a slumber party. That's what we can consider this to be. Right?
No.
Oh, okay. Babe said no, you guys. No slumber parties. All right. And the third little cousin. Welcome home. All right, yeah. So we got everybody tucked in. And we're just going to put the rest of our meat on.
Put the roof on.
Put the roof on. You guys, this is really a very simple recipe, and it tastes really good. Like, that's the best thing about it. When something's simple and it tastes great, where can you go wrong? And I already have some potatoes boiling, because we're having mashed potatoes, obviously. And we're probably going to do corn on the cob. I was going to do cream corn, but for some odd reason, I don't have cream today. So that's not going to work out well. Just trying to get the last bit of meat out. And then we will assemble that, so you guys can get a closer look. This is going to be a big meatloaf, but it's okay. Alright, let's just get it nice. Make sure your meatloaf is sealed on the side, because you don't want your mozzarella cheese leaking out at random points when it's cooking through. So you can take the edge of your spoon and just like smooth it on out as if it's like a cake or something. But as I said, as long as you don't press down too firmly, you want to give your meat room to breathe out the excess air and grease and whatever else is going to come out while it's cooking. Alright, you guys, that's looking pretty good. Now that we have that smooth, we're going to make our sauce. And the reason we're making our sauce at this point of the game is because we're going to let it cook with half the sauce. And then while it's almost finished, we're going to finish that off with the rest of the sauce. So we'll get the sauce started, cover that, and we'll be ready to go. All right, you guys. So the next step we're going to do is our sauce to top our meatloaf. And in order to get our sauce together, we are going to need ketchup, salt, brown sugar, onion powder, once again, garlic powder. I am a huge fan of onion and garlic powder. We will always use that in majority of our meals, and some mustard. So we're going to go about 1 cup of ketchup. So we're going to get that into our bowl. Ugh, I don't know if I have a lot of strength. Go, go! All right, 1 cup of ketchup. That was hard work, you guys. And we're going to go half a cup of yellow mustard. Well, that didn't work out well. Next time I should buy more mustard. That noise is bizarre. We're going to go a teaspoon of salt.
Sound like a fart.
It did, right? Teaspoon of salt. Teaspoon of my favorite onion powder.
You're sick, shut up.
Teaspoon of garlic powder. And we need brown sugar. Now I'm going to go about a tablespoon of brown sugar because we want this to be sweet. So, yeah, about a tablespoon. Actually, that's probably about a tablespoon and a half. But who's watching? And you guys may have never ever seen this before or heard of this before, but don't try to judge me because this is how I cook in my kitchen. And I bet you it tastes good. I'm going to add syrup to this bad boy. And I think about a half a tablespoon is good. And just a smidgen of black pepper to throw that off. And don't worry, this is going to have a sweet, thick taste to top off your meatloaf that's savory. So once we mix all this bad boy up, it's basically like making a barbecue sauce. That's basically what we're having. And make sure you mix it in well. Your color should be almost just a little bit darker than a buffalo sauce. And it should be sweet. I might have to add some apple cider vinegar to this depending on the taste. So you guys, I'm just gonna have to taste this really quick, but it might be okay. I'm gonna cut that with a tad bit of apple cider vinegar. And I feel like I need to do a little bit more brown sugar. It's not as sweet as I would like. So here, you guys, I'm just going to go with like a half a cap of apple cider vinegar. And we're also going to do about another half tablespoon of brown sugar, just to give it an extra kick, because I like it, you know, a little sweeter than most toppers. If you guys don't like your sauce on your meatloaf to be sweet, then you can skip that last tablespoon of brown sugar. But I like a glaze on my meatloaf. Alright. This should be good. I don't even have to taste it. I can look and tell that it's perfect and how I want it to be. Alright, so now that we have our sauce ready, you guys, we're just going to drizzle half of that sauce onto the meatloaf. So we'll just take half of this and drizzle it right on top of our meatloaf. Just do it like that. We're not doing any shaking today, but we're definitely dipping and coating. In case you guys are wondering. So we'll just dip coat today. Alright, look at this, y'all. I don't eat raw meat, but for those carnivores out there, or whatever the freak you call those folks that eat raw meat, I know this looking good to y'all. Just slather it on. Make sure you get it evenly coated. There's nothing worse than a half-coated meatloaf. And this is going to form a glaze, you guys. Alright, so we got that nice and coated. And we're just going to save the other half of the sauce for when it's halfway through because we love sauce. Dripping with the sauce over here. Alright. And now we're ready to get this into the oven, guys. That's it for our meatloaf. We already have our potatoes boiling. And I'll just show you how to throw you some quick mashed potatoes together. Set your oven at 375. Let this cook about 40 minutes, I would say. For those of you who don't like well done, you can easily do 25 minutes. It's all whatever you like. But we're going to get this bad boy into the oven. And we'll be back. My potatoes boiled. As you can see, they're just white potatoes, washed, boiled, and they're done. So this is really easy. We're going to add about half a cup of milk. Of course, we're adding onion powder. We're doing a tablespoon, actually. Garlic powder we're going to add because I want this to have a garlic mashed potato taste. We're going to do half a tablespoon of that. Tablespoon of black pepper. Half a tablespoon, excuse me. Tablespoon of salt. Going to go 2 tablespoons of butter. So it might look like a lot, but you guys don't be afraid. It's not. Trust me. Oh, wow. That kind of looks like a lot. And we're going to add sour cream. And this is going to give it a really creamy taste. And you can add as much sour cream as you like or you don't like. It's up to you. So we're going to mix that up. And the reason I'm mixing with a fork, you guys, is because I like my potatoes to have a chunk in them. Southern style. My grandmother never mashed hers. She used to just use a fork and gently press them down. Well, roughly press them down, actually. You're just going to reglaze your whole entire meatloaf with the rest of your sauce and cook that for about 15 minutes. Pop it in the oven. And you're going to let it rest for about 10 minutes before you cut it. You want to make sure it holds well and everything sticks together, all right? Just going to slather that on. Look at that, you guys. Look at that. That is going to be great. And as you guys can see here, I have my corn boiling while the meatloaf's finishing off. In the water, we have some chicken stock, a little whole milk, some salt, pepper, sugar. That's all that's in here, and butter, of course. We're gonna let that boil for about 20 minutes, so about time the meatloaf's done, the corn will be done, and we'll plate our food and get ready to eat. What's really good, YouTube? It's your girl KKN. Of course, Babe's here with me. And we are back tonight. And you know we're having meatloaf because you obviously see me make this delicious meal. First of all, let's just take a good look at this. Like,
You gotta get them up close in person, John.
Mozzarella. We got chives on the potatoes, corn on the cob. Like, what else do you need out here? Like, homemade. So we're going to say our grace and just get to it because I'm hungry and I know he's hungry because he's always ready to eat.
Always ready.
I'm a mosquito, little nigga, come catch me. And that's my bestie, my best friend. Go best friend.
This grace, like.
Amen. All right, to drink, you guys, we have some strawberry lemonade, and Babe has a brisk iced tea over there because he has to be difficult.
Get real.
So let's see. This is mozzarella stuffed meatloaf. If you guys didn't watch, we have some sour cream, garlic, and chive mashed potatoes, and we have some fresh corn on the cob. Let's just do this right now. And I'm aiming.
Like, do you see this meatloaf? How it's stuffed like that? Like
the cheese, right? Let me get a good.
Like you gotta like.
Look at this, you guys.
Lift that thing up. Like, look how that
Look
thing's
at
coming
Babe's
out,
cheese
like,
pull. Like,
look at that. Like,
look at that. Hooray. Wow. The sauce,
like
right, baby? The sauce is legit.
You go, girl.
Legit, you guys. Look how creamy these potatoes are.
Baby doing her damn
See this?
thing in that kitchen.
Yum. This is really good. This is super, super good. Yo. We gotta get a thumbnail, babe. What you wanna use? Meatloaf?
You should have did it when I was cheesing up, like.
Oh, I could just pull that for a thumbnail. That'll be good. That'll be great.
Perfecto.
The sauce is really good, y'all.
Fabuloso, like deliciosis. Like, it's so much things you just say about this food right now.
He is crazy.
Don't mind me, people. I'm from the ghetto.
Yum. Y'all already know what it's heading for. And I got little mashed potatoes on there. Perfect. Baby.
What's up? What they doing?
That corn is so sweet and good, y'all.
Let me see what it's hitting like. Look how big this thing is, like.
If you don't have fresh corn where you live, I feel bad for you. Because it's nothing like fresh corn on a cob. It's sweet, it's buttery. Just a hint of salt, so good.
That thing like.
And the meatloaf is juicy, you guys. It's not dry. It's really juicy. I know y'all want that. Get a little potatoes on there. Like a perfect bite. I'm a food mixer, you guys. How many of y'all mix y'all food? A lot of people like, that's nasty. I don't like my food touching, but I mix mine for some reason. It's like a party in your mouth.
I just dip and dab. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know.
That mozzarella cheese is good.
The corn is just so juicy.
It's so good. If y'all only knew, you might think we exaggerating because we on camera, but you have no clue. Like, you have no clue.
Tell them if they come to the crib, they might find out. But they, you know what? Y'all can't come to my crib. Y'all ain't welcome.
They don't like to share food, y'all.
Or this all for me.
Let me tell y'all something. I came from the store today, right? And Babe had ate a chicken sandwich while I was gone. So I'm like, oh, did you eat? He like, yeah, I had a chicken sandwich. So I'm like, hold on. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'll make me a quesadilla. So I'm like, you want one? No, I'm good. I already ate. So I come upstairs. You already know I slayed it. I sauteed my chicken, peppers, onions, threw my quesadilla together. Had my lime cut up, my salsa, sour cream, everything ready to go on the side. So I go upstairs, sit down. He eyeing my quesadilla like a hawk, talking about some, oh, I'ma just take me a little piece of that. Hello? Like,
you know I had to get me some.
I asked him if he wanted one though. Like, that's it. I don't get it. Like, how? Get your own. I was gonna make him his own. He wanted mine.
I didn't want no whole one. I just wanted some of yours.
It was slamming too. I did not want to share. You know when you have something just for you and you just don't want to share? I did not want to share. And I'm pissed. I don't know who grew this corn, but kudos to them. Y'all
I see how the food on this plate just like disappearing, like
word. And y'all never see me finish, but today I might max for y'all.
that's how you know it's just like so smacking. Like this thing is hitting.
I'm telling you, it's better than your mother's meatloaf. And I'll challenge my mother to a cook-off. I might not. I don't know. I might win. I don't know. She taught me how to make it, but now that I add my own little thing, I think I could take her. My mom watching it, she gonna call me like, excuse me. But listen, this thing is good. Damn, babe, you done? He really don't be playing, y'all. He can go. But I'm right behind him.
Yeah.
This is what you call a good meal. And it's quick.
This corn is like
It's quick, you guys. There's some leftovers in there, baby.
amazing.
It's quick and it's really like filling and delicious. Try it, I'm telling you. You won't be disappointed. You will not. So you guys, as you can see,
I don't play no games.
we're just basically done eating here, and we really don't even got much to talk about. But if you guys like this recipe, it's so good. If you guys like this recipe, do me a favor.
Go make some yourself.
Make it for real. Make it yourself. But give this video a big thumbs up.